Hello and welcome to the Pixelated Realms Gamescast, your guide through the digital landscape, untangling the mysteries of your favorite titles and discussing the latest and greatest in video game fun. I'm your host, Alex Salerno, and alongside me is my brother Tyler and my good friend Dustin. What's up, guys?
What
Hello, everyone.
I'm always like so short in this. I don't know what to do.
Yeah, you got
Just
to
tilt your camera down.
Yeah.
Just tilt your camera down.
Hey, see my
There you
cheap
go.
Nike Trail shirt on. I should have worn my Low-Key Geek shirt today.
Check this out. Boom. E3.
E3. What's that?
An
I've never heard of that.
This is
all right. If we're showing off
existence.
shirts, then Tron. Let's go.
We can't
Nice.
do that. This is like the worst day to do that. I have like
Aw.
fucking like show my Nike Trail shirt, bro. Clearance section.
You're the
Nike
one who
outlet.
started it.
Yeah, you started it. Yeah. Well, so today, little housekeeping first, as always. If my brain is so fucking fried, guys.
My gosh.
I can't even
That's what
start.
happens when we record in the morning.
We're not
Cheers.
going to be on next week, everyone. It's a holiday. We're not going to be here.
Yes. Thank
And
you.
you should not be here either. You should go camping or something. Go enjoy. If you're
Yes.
in the US, go enjoy the holiday.
Yes. That and go to our Patreon, subscribe. You know what to do. Okay. Anyways, I'm moving on.
Just kidding. Actually, just watch Pixelated Realms for your holiday. That's what we need.
catch
more
up
than
on
anything.
all of our
Yeah.
episodes on
Please.
YouTube, every single one. Also,
Yes.
tell all of your friends.
Awesome.
Mm.
All right, but let's give you some content to watch.
Yes, but fuck, please, somebody take over. I'm retiring. I'm done. I'm done.
Well, I guess we could just
All
say
right.
like catch us up on the latest Dune stuff, Tyler.
Yeah, so if you've been following our return back to the podcast, folks, you'll know that Dune Awakening, not only a really anticipated game on our podcast, probably one of our most anticipated games from our entire length of podcast, because that was basically when we first found out about it was when the podcast started. I am happy to say that it has surpassed expectations. It's not a perfect game by any means, and we'll come out with a full review soon, hopefully. However, I just gotta say, like, I'm over 130 hours into the game. Yeah, I'm over 130 hours into the game, and it's been out for less than 3 weeks. I haven't had a game like this that I've been this obsessed with in a really, really long time. I mean, it's like, I've been hearing that from multiple reviewers and streamers and things too. Like, a lot of people are just really, really attaching onto this game. I mean, I gotta say, and just because I'm in the mood to talk about it, we're gonna do it. It just feels like an MMO, honestly. Like, I kind of feel like I'm playing like a classic WoW or like an old classic MMO experience, because if you think about it like this, take away the actual base building portion, right? Which is an important
favorite part.
It's
My favorite
an
part. Don't get rid
important
of it.
But it's not. No. I'm not saying get rid of it. It's an important part of the game, but it's not everything. So if you take away the base building, you pretty much just have a classic MMO. Oh, we lost Dustin.
We lost us.
Yeah, you pretty much have yourself a classic MMO. You're a character. You craft things, right? In World of Warcraft, you craft things, right? You just have one profession, not all of them. You craft things. You go kill bases. You collect things from those bases and the enemies. You do quests. You have classes. You have quest lines. There's a story. There's an overworld. Like, everything about this game actually feels like I'm playing in an old MMO. Well, I'm running into other people. Now, this has been really fun so far, and now that I've been exploring the deep desert, which for those of you who are unfamiliar is kind of the end game map where you go and to find the most valuable resources, a majority of that map is PvP. However, they recently made a change to where more of the map is PvE, because it was kind of what's the word? Dissuading a lot of players from going there, because they really didn't want to lose to PvP all of the stuff they've been working for. Now, I think the game developers are going to find balance there. Excuse me. They're going to find a balance there, and they're going to keep tweaking it. It's, it doesn't feel perfect, but it feels really good so far. I haven't had any troubles with PvP. My server has been working together really, really well. Everyone's really nice. We have actually at 4 p.m. today, they're doing an arena battle in this arena someone built in the deep desert. So I think I might go to that, and I'll try to stream.
Because there's no real benefit to killing other players, right? So people are like, Other than, I mean, I guess technically you could steal their goods, but it's not really worth it. It's better to just go and mine stuff. So it's kind of funny that people, it's almost the opposite of what you typically see in a game where people will like completely grief you for no reason. But people are like, this game is already hard. Like, let's just work together.
It's kind of just like when you have Shai Hulud hunting you, you have a giant worm hunting you. It's like, okay, guys, let's just get together. Like, I don't really see why fighting is like helpful. And the thing is, at least at the moment, spice is plentiful, and I'm sure they'll change how the mechanics work so that like maybe spice isn't as plentiful, or we just need even more of it, which we already need a lot of it right now. But that's the thing is like, just to continue my rant here, there's been a lot of talk about the end game. About it like being boring or like not fair or whatever.
That's a vocal minority. I think that's a vocal minority. I don't think that is true to the like. I don't see that in reviews. I don't see that anywhere.
I'm not really feeling it though, because like even in. For one, okay, so there's a few things, right? You finish a Haga Basin, just to put this in context for our listeners. The Haga Basin is the map you start out on, right? There's hundreds of quests you can do in the Haga Basin. There's very, very limited PvP places in there. So you're safe pretty much all around that place. When you're done with that, you need to go basically get a few materials in that for the end game stuff. The most important being spice melange, of course. The next being plastanium ingots, and then you need you need titanium and stravanium, I think it was called, to make those ingots. So there's a couple things and like a dozen more things really that you need to go to that desert to do. Now there's also basically like you could call them like little mini dungeons, I guess. They're called testing labs where you'll find enemies. Now I tried to do a couple of those yesterday myself because I wanted to just quickly run in. And my character's really strong. I'm like level 160 something. So I thought I could go in there and like kick their asses pretty much. And I went in there and I was immediately overwhelmed. I got into one of those rooms. Basically, you pass through this barrier and it locks you in the room until you defeat the waves of enemies. And I tried it 3 or 4 times and I could not kill them. They overwhelmed me with just the amount of like hits they were doing. And I ended up having to leave my shit. I had to abandon my corpse and just fly away. So it's designed for groups of people for sure.
The deep desert, all of the deep desert really is.
Yeah. And like we were saying, like PvP hasn't been a problem on my server. Like, I just, for example, so if someone did PvP, right? We're going to shout that out to the whole deep desert and everyone's going to know it. And then
just
I'm going to have either people, well, either they're going to avoid it or they're going to come help or they're going to, you know what I mean? I don't think like with a game where we're kind of all communicating like this, I think you're going to get yourself a bounty far quicker than you are going to if you just cooperate with people. So I don't know. To me, that's kind of what these games are about, like this kind of dynamic. What's wrong with your Twitter?
Sorry, Dustin.
Twitter.
Dustin's having technical problems.
Yeah, no, I'm checking on Twitter right now, and Riverside tweeted out last night that they're having issues with people connecting and not able to connect.
That's the app we use. To record this.
And then they tweeted out like 7 hours ago saying it was fixed, but clearly it's not fixed.
Bummer.
So hopefully it stops happening, but yeah, I don't know. It just keeps dropping me, and I have to reconnect.
Okay, well, we're just explaining to people that you need to buy Dune so you could play with us.
Yeah.
I mean, I would, but then Alex would quit after like 2 days, and then I would have wasted $50.
I play games for a long time. I just don't play them for as long a time as you.
No, okay, haven't we learned anything from this podcast? We all have different ways of playing games. Like it's everyone comments about how quickly I change games. I do, but like also I know people who've played like 3 games their entire lives. So like, yeah, League of Legends and like fucking, I don't know, Call of Duty. And it's like, they have like 20,000 hours on each, and I'm like, I have 20,000 hours among 200 games, It's just like, the way it
look
goes.
At Ralph. He's been playing Delta Force for like 2 years straight.
I can't do it, dude. We should have a whole video on this because I think it's interesting and like, with ADHD and all that stuff, it plays into it. But like the way people switch games actually is really interesting to me, and I think it tells a lot about how your focus works as a human being. That's a theory I have.
Yeah, that's fair.
I read a thing yesterday that said that men who are attracted to bigger boobs have less financial security. So
I can
that's
confirm that's
weird
wrong.
Science. That's a weird scientific stat I seen yesterday for you guys, since we're
that is so funny.
Statistics all of a sudden.
Either I'm an outlier.
Yeah,
We're just talking about Dune again, and I like Dune a lot. I've been playing it. I just haven't had as much time to sink in with 2 kids. And it's really hard to play online games, especially because I have to be able to jump off at any given moment because somebody can come in and be like, "Hey, I need you." And so
Dune is not friendly to that all the time.
You literally, if you leave your vehicle, if you log off and your vehicle isn't parked somewhere, it will get destroyed while you're gone.
Actually, let's review some of those things. So in Dune, just in case you're wondering, we'll have to clip this for a short. Okay. Don't look at me like that. You'll see why. So, okay. In Dune, what happens when you log out? If you are in your base, if you're in a safe place, usually I think that's water sealed, and you log out, your character will sit there for 30 seconds. So he will still remain in the world for 30 seconds, and then he will disappear. Now, if you leave, like Alex said, if you leave your vehicle out and you don't either put it in a water sealed place or a sheltered place, or suck it up into your vehicle backup tool, and a storm comes, it will absolutely destroy the living shit out of
Which a storm will come.
It will come. They always come.
Like every couple hours or every hour or something like that. So it's like it's a guarantee it's going to get destroyed if you're not back on in like 10 minutes. And
now that does actually change a little bit. To finish the thought, if you're in a PvP zone and you die, first you have to wait exactly 60 seconds before you can respawn, and then if you want to log out of your character, your character will remain there for 5 whole minutes before you are despawned out of the
dead.
world.
You're for sure dead. Yeah.
Be very careful when you're quitting the game.
I liked that. What's the MMO? Is it 14 for Final Fantasy or 11? What
it is 11 and 14.
Oh, 14 too.
The old one.
They're both MMOs.
Oh yeah. Sorry, 14. Yeah, 14's the current one.
Yeah, so I think that old one, and it's probably like this in the new one too. But I loved the feature, even though I never played it. It's just what friends who did. When you log out, your character never actually disappears, but it gets like a notation above it saying that you're not logged in. And
that's not in 14. No.
Okay, but if you killed that character, you killed that person who killed them would then get a marker over their head saying that they killed logged out, and then it would make them basically people would gangbang that person if they did that as a toxic thing. If you're toxic enough to kill
don't remember
someone
that
logged
mechanic
out.
in 11, but it could be there.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that sounds like some Rust stuff, except for I don't know about the marker, but in Rust, when you log off, your character just sits down, goes to sleep, and then they can come and kill you. So you have to build a base to cover yourself, and then everybody figures out how to get in the base anyways, and it doesn't matter until you die.
Then you pick up their sleeping body and you put them in a prison, and then you lock them in that prison. So when they log back in, they're in a fucking prison. They can't get out.
Literally,
it was the most toxic. No, it literally the whole game was founded on the toxic nature, and that was the fun part, dude. Okay, quick Rust story. I remember when we were playing early Rust, my buddy and I are in our base, and we're like, "Oh, we hear someone," and you just hear a guy outside go, "I know you're in there. Come out. Come out." And then I remember we have this, we're like, "Don't come out. We're not leaving. We're not leaving." And then we made some
proximity chat, right?
Yeah, it's proximity chat. So we made a friend earlier, some nice guy who came to our house to sell us something. It was the funniest thing. He's like, "I'm here to sell. You guys want to buy?" And we're with guns out. We're like, "You sure you're friendly?" And he's like, "I swear I'm friendly." And we bought something from him, and we see him come back, and I don't remember his name. We'll call him Tom right now. It was "Hey guys, it's Tom. I'm coming back." And we're like, "No, Tom, don't do it." And you just hear, "Dush, dush, dush." And he shoots Tom, and we're like, "No!" It's just, dude, Rust was a wild time. Rust was a wild time.
That game is so the servers are just so unhinged. But
that was the fun part. Rust, it was kind of, I understood it in Rust. Like, it was kind of like the fun of the game was that toxic nature. I wasn't good at it because I am not that kind of person, but
I've
Yeah.
seen some
Well, we
pretty
had a
funny
private server
videos about it too.
for a little bit. Do you remember? Was Dustin? Did you play on that server with us? I can't remember if you were.
Rust? Are you sure?
Nah,
Not
I wasn't
Yeah,
a
Emily.
Ruster.
Emily and I
Rust was
played that
toxic,
one.
man.
And Emily actually really liked that game, and the building is actually
Oh my god, that doesn't
very,
surprise me at all. She is such a
very.
maniacal person. I could absolutely see her.
But it was a private server, so it was just us. And we were
still.
just doing building. Are you sure? Somebody else. There was a third person. Maybe it was Jake. I think it was actually Jake then, who
I
was
don't think
playing
we
with
ever
us.
played
But,
Oh, no. I do remember, Alex. We had like 17, not 17, but we had like 15 people. Do you remember that? We had this big Rust day where we had like all of our friends in. Yes.
We had a whole bunch of people.
We had a whole bunch of people. And we were like all 10 of us like naked running around. Yes, it's a memory coming back.
Yeah, because I tried Ark for a minute. I know you're a big Ark guy, but that game I can't stand. I can't stand how just janky it feels.
Yeah, it was
and
janky.
then so we went to Rust, and I remember that one actually. We played that one for quite a while, and then I don't know, just it's hard to keep that many people together, and then it just kind of fell apart. But yeah,
I don't know.
that game's crazy. Anyways, Dune is rough, kind of like. Not so much as Rust, but like the game is doing everything it can to kill you.
What? Sorry, Ark? Is that what you said?
No, Dune.
Oh, Dune. Yeah, I mean, Dune is a lot more balanced in that respect. Like,
oh yeah.
So this is something I don't think we talked about yet, but like, basically, a lot of survival games are kind of intentionally like punishing in the beginning because they want you to feel like once you've established yourself that you've like accomplished something, right? And I think that's fair. But Dune, besides Muad'Dib, besides the worm chasing you around, it's and like your dehydration, it's not like everything isn't out to kill you that much. So like it's punishing.
Well, it's not
right?
like Dark Souls, right? It's not like you turn a corner and you're getting flattened. But it's
not like Ark either, where a raptor shows up and just kills you randomly, right? In Ark, like you would just get unlucky and you'd get killed by a raptor or 10. Right.
Yeah, it's less about being unlucky and more about being unprepared. And
correct.
If you're unprepared, then you're gonna just slowly die to death, or slowly like starve, or not starve, but like dehydrate to death.
You dehydrate, or you get eaten, or you. That's it, really. Because if you die to enemies, you can respawn basically. So it
water,
It downplays the. Oh, sorry, yeah. Basically, it's funny. I saw some people talking about this on Reddit. It was like, anything's better than getting eaten by the worm. So like if you get killed by an enemy player, you respawn. If you hit escape and hit the respawn button, you still respawn, but you take damage and you can like hold on to your vehicle. But if you get eaten by the worm, he takes everything every time. So it's like, no matter what you do not get eaten by the worm.
Yeah. It's funny. Everything is recoverable, but like Tyler said, once you get eaten by the worm, all your shit's gone. It's gone. It's just a restart unless you have anything in your base.
Is the worm killable?
There's one criticism of
like later.
No. It's the ultimate enemy. It's just you
can't hurt him.
It's like the Nemesis system where it's just always chasing you. And something that I found that was really interesting is it's not the worm doesn't spawn randomly. So it's not like you run out into the desert and it just spawns after a timer. It's always, there's probably like a dozen of them or so on the map at any given time, always. And they just are patrolling the map. And so when you walk onto the desert and you create, there's a little icon of like how much sound you're making. Just the nearest worm will start beelining it towards you, basically. And you have until that. So if you see, and you can kind of see like the dust getting kicked up if they're coming by. So if you're like about to cross some of the desert, but you see the dust coming, you're like, oh, I'm just going to sit here for a minute and I'm going to wait for him to go away because as soon as I step over there, he's going to eat me.
I had a really cool,
pretty fun.
No, it's fantastic, and they even elaborate it more. So the sandworm will actually stick around by spice fields. So it's not just gonna like. So here's the experience I had on Friday, and sorry for not capturing this on video, guys, but I'm gonna try to stream more. So Friday night I needed spice, so I was looking. I reached out to the deep desert, said, "Hey guys, where's it going at?" And they're like, "Oh, go to F5, go to cell F5." So I flew over there, and we're talking like I don't know how to give you like in-game measurement, right? But like a huge crater-sized patch of spice. And there's actually areas of greater density and less density. So it'll be like really deep purple or slightly lighter purple. And you do get different yields. And so I show up, there's about, I don't want to exaggerate, but like 20 other helicopters. There's 20 other thopters there. And basically it's just this dance, right? Everyone's up in the air. The worm comes by. He goes away. Everyone shoots back down. They collect all their spice. The worm comes back. Everyone goes back up into the air, and then up and down. And someone it's really funny because everyone works in tandem. No one gets eaten, and you actually have a lot more time than you think. And then so we had like 20, 30 people all literally filling their storages with spice. Everyone's working together. We have people with carriers dropping shit.
And they could have easily killed each other.
We could all be killing each other right now, but we don't. There's like no point. So yeah, it was really fun. I ended up filling not only my scout copter, but I came back with my assault copter, filled that up, and went back. So it was like it lasted for over a couple hours. And then after a period of time for these big ones, they're called maws, a giant elder ringworm will come up. And you know this is going to happen because it'll start going like crazy red in your meter. And then the spice will all disappear and the ring will stay. And then you get the fuck out of there because then this huge, like 10 times, no, like 100 times the size of a regular worm comes out and just sculpts the whole thing. And
That's
it's
cool.
fantastic.
It's the despawn of the spice,
it is the
but it's animated. Yeah,
it's
that's
fantastic.
So cool. You guys don't want me to play this game with you because I would have just went in there and started fucking killing everybody.
You're Harkonnen. You don't get to be in the guild. Yeah, you could be on the other faction.
You can play with us. You're just not in our guild because we're in a Atreides guild. So there's 2 factions, but it's that the factions are like you can like switch. It's not like WoW where you have to pick it at the beginning. You can either be the Harkonnen, which is kind of like the evil, or you could be the Atreides.
Undebatably.
and so you can start your own guild as the Harkonnen, and you could be our rivals, and we'll play with you.
I'm shooting everyone as they're like mining spice.
You'd probably just get murdered by everyone else.
You get murdered, yeah. Everyone turn around and just rocket you to death.
That's okay. That's okay. I used to just ram people with the sloot and Sea of Thieves.
Well, you used to be able to do that, and then they patched it so you can't do that anymore. Because people used to ram people with the ornithopter, and it would kill you. And so, but they within a week, the devs. By the way, the devs are great. The devs have been listening to people and have been responding very, very, very quickly, which is awesome. So people used to cheese by just like ramming people with the ornithopter, and then they like within like a week they were like, oh, no more vehicle damage on players.
Yep.
You can only kill them with weapons. And so now you can't ram people.
They also patched the deep desert in
cheap.
Like days. Yeah. It was like couple days, and they threw out a hot fix to patch.
Well, and
like
vehicles don't take damage when colliding with like even the thing. Like you can literally yeet yourself
you can
off
yeet
of
it
like
off the cliff,
like a mile high cliff, and you'll land just fine. And so people would use the vehicles to just like PvP, and they're like, you know what? Because vehicles can't be damaged and all this shit, like. We're just not gonna deal with it.
I also saw. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. I had nothing else.
Oh, I was just gonna say. So right now in the deep desert, because they made more of it PvE, basically you have the opportunity to build a base in a PvP area over titanium and stravinium ore, which are the 2 endgame ores. And so it's kind of. Look, I don't know. I think it's annoying because it's in a PvE area. I should at least be able to destroy it if I want, and collect it. But I already saw posts of the devs being like, if you are blocking ore in the PvE area, like we're gonna figure that out. And I was like, ooh,
because people would build their base on top of it and then make it impossible so you couldn't get it. And also, like in the main map, people would sometimes block key like corridors because. There's rocky areas, and so there's like high mountains, and they would put their bases in like the way. That's just annoying. And devs have been really good about like, well, right now they kind of have these like they'll just destroy the base. Like if you report it, they'll send a human in to check it, and they'll just destroy the base. But eventually, they're probably they've been creating like no build zones, so they're starting to get better about it. Slowly but surely. But I mean, it's really fun. The game is super fun, and I'm excited to see where they take it for sure.
Yeah, I really can't wait. This is one of those games where I don't usually follow a lot of games like closely patch to patch. You know, there's a few, but this is one I will follow patch to patch for sure. So
I will say my one gripe, and this is the gripe that everybody has. There's too many fucking tools in the game.
That's true. That's
so
true.
like every single like thing you do, and I get it if they want to do it for like immersion and stuff like that, but like everything you do is like a tool. So it's like
Or a
construct your
bench.
base is a tool. Yeah. I don't mind the benches, but it's the tools. It's because you only have so many hotkeys. So everything is like hotkey based. And so you have like 1 through 9. I don't remember
1
0
through 8
is
even. Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it's like 1 through 8. And so you assign like one of the tools to that, but you also assign water. You also assign your weapons. You also assign all this shit. So it's like if you want to do anything, you have to like open up your inventory and then find the right fucking tool, and then you have to drag it over. So there's like the cutter, there's the vehicle repair tool,
the
impactor,
mouse, dude.
The impactor,
the ones that have like the 16 buttons on the side, you know.
It wouldn't matter because you still
it only allows 8. Yeah,
it only allows up to 8 things, but there's more than 8 tools plus your weapons plus your water plus
I'd take
your
like
healing.
A shift. Yeah, it'd be really nice.
I mean, I guarantee you they're going to come up with, like a multi-hotbar solution, but I would actually just like to see them combine the tools. Like if they come out with a patch and they're like, hey, here's a multi-tool and you can drag your other tools into it and it does like 3 things.
I kind of get it, but I also, as someone who enjoys like, I don't know, like simplicity, I don't mind the way they divided the tools. I just think I want a solution to the hotbar, right? Like, I don't mind the tools and the amount of tools. It makes a certain amount of sense to me the way they did it. But I wish I had more ways to pull them out.
I don't mind the tools if, 1, you're right, the hotbar. 2, if they didn't take up a slot in my inventory. So there's like 10 tools. And you only have 45 slots. Yeah. And you're like, okay,
yeah. I carry 3 weapons. I carry 3 weapons. I carry
pack, plus your
radiation suit. I carry a armor suit. I carry a still suit. So that's 3 sets of armor. It's like there's a lot.
Even if you pack that shit into your vehicle, which has an inventory, it's still like just taking up a shit ton of space. So, I mean, if tools didn't take up any inventory space, then that would be cool too. Also, I wish tools, I also wish instead of taking up a hotbar space, I wish that when you get near something that the tool could use, it would just use the tool. So like for instance, you have blood extractor. This is like one of the more brutal parts of the game.
Yeah.
So you can extract blood from the enemies and then you could turn that into water later. But if I don't want to have to pull out my blood extractor and then point at the guy, just let me walk up to the bottle and press F or to the body and press F and just pull it out and do it if I have it. Like I don't need to equip it. Right. Or if I see a mineral and I have my cutter, if I walk up next to it, why doesn't it just say press F to fucking scan and cut? Like
that being said, though, some of it comes down to survival game mechanics, right? Like part of it is they want us to have to pull it out, take the time to pull it out and cut it, right? So if someone's going for titanium, I want that titanium. I want them to have that delay of getting out of their helicopter, pulling the thing out, analyzing it and cutting it, and that time I could kill them and steal it.
Yeah, okay. So there's some of it's intentional to a degree. Like there's a balance between immersion and just being fucking annoying, right? Like maybe the cutter ray is a bad example because maybe that one should be intentional. But like the blood extractor, that one I shouldn't have to equip it as a slot. Like that should just let me walk up to a body and suck that fucking thing out, or even the Dew Reaper, or like any of that shit.
A water bottle would be nice. Like having a water bottle button. Anyway.
Yeah, like there should be like dedicated buttons to certain things, like the health pack. And there should be like a wheel, right? Like
also, I think it goes without
things.
saying that everyone wants a backpack feature. We'd really love a backpack so we can carry more volume on us at once. I think, like maybe that there's a 5th slot right now that doesn't have any equipment in it on your character. Hopefully that's what that's for. But like with suspensor technology and shit, come on, we should be able to carry loads that are heavier.
Yeah, I get that they want to promote vehicles because the vehicles have inventories,
it's
but
important.
like, yeah, to a certain degree. I mean, these are all just quality of life things, though. Yeah. Right. So these aren't real like major gripes. These are just quality of life things that like would make the experience a little smoother. But the game itself is very fun.
Yeah, I mean, and I probably won't get into it fully now, but like as far as gripes do go, the combat is a little funky, right? Like I'm really enjoying it.
Totally.
The shooting, like there's so many times where I shoot and like it hits the railing, like the hitbox doesn't get through, and like It should have, right?
And it's not totally clear as to yeah. Dustin's like, 30 minutes of Dune. Shut the fuck up. Okay, we'll finish this thought
I
and
think
then we'll move
Dune
on.
is a great topic.
But I did the weapon. Oh, sorry, the combat is a little janky, and it's not totally clear how it works either. Like, so you have the knives, you have your shields, and you have there's not knives, but like melee weapons and your ranged weapons. And it's like it's not clear of how, like, am I supposed to be stun, like, am I supposed to stun them by shooting them a bunch if they have a shield? Like, if they don't have a shield, then you just beat them to death. But if they have a shield, like, the combat is a little more ambiguous. It's like if you have a sword to sword, it's like you stun them and then
It's a
you
rock, paper,
pierce through.
scissors.
But if I have a ranged weapon, is there just nothing I can do unless I have an advanced one that can pierce through? It's I don't know. It's just,
well, I can explain that. Poison pierces and fire pierces.
yeah,
yeah.
but like if you, I don't know. Anyways, it's not clear up front until you get later in the end game, and then it doesn't really like matter. But let's move on. We'll talk about more Dune next week, or no, the week after, because we're taking next week off. I guarantee it. And Tyler's going to be streaming a lot, so catch that on our Pixelated Realms Twitch channel and YouTube. So let's go ahead and move on. I'll go next, actually. So I've been playing Satisfactory again. And Dustin, you had me set up a server, so let's play.
Yeah,
I think that should be
have
our new
that
Sea of
game,
Thieves.
so we should.
I think that should be our new Sea of Thieves. I think it's we don't actually have to do shit. It's just good to like go and chill and
What? Satisfactory is like setting up a factory.
yeah, but like we can chill while we do it. It's not like an intense moment to moment gameplay, right? Like
Yeah,
we can
you're not
talk
like
and play, and we'd be like, "Hey, I'm building my factory over here, and you're building your factory over there, and
You
then we're gonna
text
connect
me, bro.
them."
You're the one with the newborn. So
Yeah.
when you're free for
Silas
game
is
night, you
chilling.
let me know.
Yeah, I can usually play after 8:30. But anyways, moving on. We should
Scheduling
play
later.
we should play Satisfactory. But I've been playing Satisfactory again because I needed another game that I could like pop in and out of. And it looks like actually probably to my friends that I'm always on Satisfactory because I tend to just kind of like leave it up on my computer and then I walk away. So if you see me, I'm on there. I'm probably not actually on there. It's like I'm like just like I'll come in, I'll play for like 10 minutes, I'll build some shit, and then I'll walk away and do something. But so it looks like I probably have like hundreds of hours in Satisfactory, but only like a tenth of that is actually me playing the game. But God, I just want to gloat about it because I just love that game so much. It's so good. By the way, better than Factorio. Yeah, I'll fight you. I'll fight you on that.
That is wild. That's wild.
It's better than Factorio. I like Factorio, but Satisfactory is so much better, and I like the tongue in cheek kind of humor about it. Super fun game, and I like just spending hours. And like in Dune, my favorite part is building. Satisfactory is literally the entire game
It's
is just about building.
Yeah.
So I was like, this is totally me. I love it. And that's all I'll say. But anyways, I love Satisfactory. The devs are awesome. Okay, Dustin, what do you got?
So
Nothing?
I finally no, I actually gamed.
He
this
actually
week.
has something.
I finally started back up on Stellar Blade. I played the demo when it came out. Really enjoyed it. It basically takes you to the first boss. The demo did, and then I'd kind of been putting it off for one because when I start playing a game, especially single player, I kind of like want to beat it, and so I kind of get a little bit too much time, and then like with all the other things I have to do with the kids and stuff, where Yenny starts being like, "You're spending too much time gaming." But the other part where I was kind of bummed with what I thought was that you had to start over from the beginning, and I was like, I already like got all the way to the first boss, and like, sure, it's only
it doesn't like progress.
But it does, and I didn't know that. When I started it up, it said like, would you like to start like where the demo left off, or would you like to now it made me fight the first boss over, which was tricky because I hadn't played in like months. And like the first part, like you're learning how to play and the moves and everything. So it's like going right into the first boss. You're like, oh shit, I fucking suck at this game again. And like I have to like try to learn against the boss. But I ended up turning it down to story mode from normal mode because I was like, fuck this, dude. I don't want to. Elden Ring is one thing, right? Like that's what you're going into. Like it's going to be like horrible. But for the most part, I don't want to sit there and play a game where I have to do the boss like 30 fucking times and like get like that perfect dodge to like, like sure, it's satisfying, but I just don't have time for that shit. I just want to play the game. So I turned it down to story mode, like fucking ran over that dude in an instant because then I'd been practicing against the normal mode, right? Which they call normal, but it's still like very challenging. Yeah, went through it, and then I got to the second boss, and I don't know if I need to check what difficulty I'm on because he is still very hard, even if I'm on story mode. Like I've lost to him
You're
like
getting old and
10
slow.
times.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Maybe it's just because I got too used to just like running up and like slashing shit, or like. But so in Spider-Man, right? Like Spider-Man 2, Miles Morales, all those, like you have moves, but it's like kind of limited, right? Like there is a web of things, pun intended. But like Stellar Blade is just on a whole different level, like with the amount of like move sets and things where I'm like,
Combos and stuff.
God damn, dude. Like I feel like I'm just button mashing than like actually like being purposeful with the moves I'm trying to pull off. And I've figured out some stuff that's made it a little bit easier, like how to use my charged attacks and like assigning them. And like those are like basically with the talent trees. Like each talent tree you pick, you basically get like an ability that's mapped to one of the buttons. But I was telling Tyler earlier, I was like, the craziest part of, not the craziest part, but one thing that's like surprising and like it didn't bother me as much, and it doesn't bother me now really, but like Eve's character design is legitimately distracting. Like legitimately distracting.
This is
Like
coming from Dustin.
yeah, and like when the skin tight outfit is the least distracting of the outfits that I have, that's insane because
They know their
like
audience.
yeah, they do, but it's almost like where I'm like,
maybe
is it
not.
too much?
Yeah.
Is it too much?
Yeah.
Because like her dress, like what, like because she basically like I have her in like the Chinese dress, and like it's like Chun-Li's outfit, right? So like full leg bearing, and then like if she's walking around, and this one's actually a little less revealing than the other outfit I got because that one is like Chun-Li's but like much shorter. So this one is long, but yeah, dude, like it is very easy
I see.
to have very little left of to the imagination of Eve's body. Like, you know, like you pan the camera and like all of a sudden like cheeks are out, like thong is on, and like there's again very little left of the imagination. So it's just like I'm just constantly catching myself like god damn. Like, you know, like every time the camera moves, I'm like, damn, Eve, damn. Like, you know, and it's just insane. But
that's funny.
But no, overall though, the game has been like it's fun. It's again like the boss fights right now, even on story, if I didn't accidentally move it back to normal somehow, are pretty challenging. But I'm also really curious. I'm starting to see like little things in the story with like so she gets basically she's a part of this like this division of airborne that like come to the planet to try to destroy like these beings there, and her whole squad gets wiped out. Like everybody gets killed by like the big baddie, and like one of her close friends, I guess you could say, like saves her in the last second and dies to save her, and then she's gonna get killed anyways. And then this like robot, like basically like what similar to like near she has like a little companion, so this companion saves her, and he's already on the planet and he doesn't know her beforehand, but he's like in the story he's like, oh, I don't know, I just felt like I had a purpose to save you. But like the way they make it seem is like he's been there for a long time, like he's a survivor on Earth, and like he uses this camera to kind of get around and like see the world. And but then like we've seen like he like says a couple different things. Like there's one part when right before the second boss where they go in a new area and he's like, it's like an apocalypse everywhere. And like surprised like tone though, you know, as they go into this area, and like she's like, what? And then he's like, oh, nothing. So I'm kind of curious if like the backstory for that person, his name's Adam, is actually what he is portraying to Eve, or if like he's also like a traveler who's there and doesn't actually have any history with Earth, and like he pushes her to try to. So right before the second boss, you go to the Hall of Records, and it's like all the records of Earth before the war, and they take like the hyperdrive, and that was something he wanted to do. But like Eve doesn't really question him of like, why are we doing this? Like, what are you going to use this for? Like, why do you need?
She being used.
Yeah, so it's like, yeah, exactly. Like, is it setting up to where like, could he actually be the big baddie in the end? Like trying to now use Eve to get more information? Is he a traveler that's seeking this? But like, so yeah, there's little hints that it might not all be what it seems with Adam. But yeah, no, overall though, the game's been about what I expected. It's been pretty fun. You know, like you guys know, like Nier was one of my favorite games. Like my favorite game of that year, I think that was 2018. And like I love the game. The music is amazing. And like Stellar Blade is like very similar, like fantastic in-game music. You know, like awesome character design, even though it's a little distracting.
Yeah,
fun.
you're very much the demographic.
Yeah, and it's like fun hack and slash kind of like combat, you know, where you are utilizing moves. But like again, like my big critiques is Eve's maybe just a little bit too distracting, and then there might just be a little bit too many moves to where it's like I feel like it's not purposeful combat for me. I just don't have the bandwidth now in my brain to like map out like 50 different combos. You know, I want like 5 main things that I'm using constantly with abilities on top of that, and then I'd be very comfortable with that amount of moves. But like, yeah, every single time you add a point to a new part of the ladder tree, like it gives you a new combo within that tree, and it's like, fuck, this is a shit ton to try to remember. So, but yeah, I'm gonna keep playing it.
Nice.
Hopefully, I'll be a lot farther along in the next couple of weeks when we reconvene. I'll give you guys another update.
Nice.
Cool. Sounds good. Yeah. All right. Cool. So I want to pose a question to you guys, and then we're gonna go into our ask section. So we'll keep this one kind of light because we're running a little bit over. But so we're about halfway through the year. And so I wanted to do a little bit of a reflection and see, okay, what games that are left throughout the year are you guys looking forward to? Like what are you anticipating going forward? I have a few, but I want to know what you guys think first.
I'll go because I really only have one.
Yeah.
So like mine's easy. It's like Ghost of Yotai, like no doubt about it.
Yeah.
That's like my most anticipated.
And it is 2025.
I think it's this
as long
fall.
as it hasn't, I don't think it got delayed. So
yeah, I'm pretty sure it's this fall. But Ghost of Tsushima, probably my favorite game on
October.
PlayStation 5 so far. Absolutely amazing. Again, I like old Japan. From like a history perspective, the combat was amazing. It's a beautiful game, and again, it has like maybe my favorite feature ever in a game with how it used the wind to give you direction, which I thought was just super cool. Subtle, like genius.
That's game design right there.
Yeah, like just amazing game design idea, and so I'm really excited to see what they do with Yotai and how they evolve it, and hopefully make it even better.
Nice.
Yeah, it comes out October 2nd.
Oh,
and
wow.
we'll get Ralph in, and we'll have him talk about the game because he's our resident expert. So I'm very excited to see that. I'm sure he'll dive full in on it, but I think all of us are going to play the shit out of that game. I mean, that Ghost of Tsushima was like such a standout hit. Like it's like a once in a lifetime awesome kind of game. So I'm really excited to see how Yotai comes out and if it, can meet even some of the expectation, or even if it's just more of the same.
If it's the same exact game with a new character, I'd still be extremely happy.
Same. Yeah. I just want to live in that world more.
Yeah.
Like I don't feel like it's like I forgot they added, was it like a hook or something?
Iki Island expansion.
But no, yeah, Iki, that one's fun. I mean in Yotai, but like what's it? There's gonna be a little bit of a different mechanic, but other than that, like
twist.
I know you have like a dog, like the wolf that
I love
is
that
your
game.
companion. So I don't know how they're gonna integrate
I've never
that
beaten
yet.
Sekiro.
Oh,
but
that's a whole nother thing.
Cool, Tyler. What about you?
Yeah. So I'm gonna mention 2. The quick one, the first one's gonna surprise absolutely no one. I am fucking beyond excited on September 30th for Final Fantasy Tactics: The Infamous Chronicles coming out. So that's a day one by 100%.
Pre-order.
Really excited for that. But that's not what I'm going to talk about mostly. The one that I am going to talk about that I just played a free demo on of Steam is the game called Dispatch. And you play as a former superhero who now works at a call center dispatching superheroes to emergencies. It is done by, and I'm going to have to look this up because I don't want to mess this up.
This looks fun.
It's the I want to fuck. It's not the same studio, but it's the same studio that did the Tall Tale games of the Walking Dead one. I think.
They did the Wolf Among Us too.
Oh,
which
sorry,
is one
the
of
Wolf.
Telltale.
The Wolf Among Us. Sorry. And basically, first and foremost, the animation looks amazing. The choice-based system, even in the demo, was incredible. Like, it feels like you're watching this animated TV show that's comedy, but you're making these choices. You're going through it with this character. Everything just looks crisp, clean. The voice acting's incredible. The gameplay was really fun. You send out these specific heroes to go take on these specific tasks, and they fail and succeed, as you might imagine, and to certain degrees. Really
so funny.
Really recommend checking out the demo. It's like a solid hour, maybe.
It's voiced by Aaron Paul is the main character, who's the guy from Breaking Bad.
That's right. Yeah,
and then it has, the classics like Lauren Bailey, Matt Mercer, Jeffrey Wright, and stuff like that as the voices. So, but it looks good. So it's a new studio, actually. I'm looking at it right now. It's a brand new studio. So they haven't released anything, but they have veterans from Telltale, Ubisoft, and Night School Studio. And some of them worked on Telltale games and stuff like that.
That's a pretty impressive voice cast if you could really consider that this is their first game. Like, they were founded in 2018, and now that they're going to be the first game. So they've been around, 7 years. I doubt they've obviously been working on this game for 7 years, maybe. But I
don't know. This looks like a big project.
I'm curious, what kind of funding these guys got, because it's damn, that's a pretty heavy.
I mean, just because the studio is new, but the developers aren't, right? So it's this is just a new name for the group of people working on it, but the people themselves still have all their contacts and, whatever potentially money that they've kind of moved over. So I'm excited to see, but you're right. That's a good call out. That's a really fun one.
Super looking forward to it. Should be 2025.
Mine aren't as fun. Obviously, GTA 5, if that one comes out, but it hasn't been announced.
GTA 6.
I'm sorry, 6. GTA 6. Very likely being pushed to next year.
It did get delayed. It did. It's February.
Oh, it officially got delayed?
Yeah. No, sorry. It's May 26th,
it never got
2026.
Announced.
Yeah, it did.
Oh,
it got announced when you were buried in baby stuff.
Oh, okay. In diapers.
Yeah.
Okay, so 2026. Okay, so that one's not happening. Well, the big one for me then is Borderlands 4. So a big Borderlands fan. All the even the good and the bad. I've played all of the Borderlands, including the Telltale games, which is actually some of the best of the stories in the game. If you haven't played the first Telltale Borderlands game, 10 out of 10. It's fucking hilarious. It's a really short game, but it's really good. It's really, really good. And there's this really funny scene that stuck with me where you play as a corpo from what the heck is the name of the company? Whatever Handsome Jack's company is called.
Yeah.
And so you're a corpo trying to weasel your way to the top, right? And you're this slimy piece of shit. But eventually the story progresses. But eventually you're in the company's headquarters, and you're trying to do some espionage, I guess, or whatever. And somebody catches you, another corporate guy, and you pull out finger guns, pretend finger guns, and you have this entire finger gun battle with all of these corporate people where he's we shoot you, and then they get hit, and they hit all dramatic and stuff. It's not real.
Yeah.
And you have this whole finger gun battle and you fight your way through the scene, and it's so fucking funny. And you're just all of these corporate people are just going with it, and it's hilarious. 10 out of 10. The game is so fun. Anyways, really excited for Borderlands 4. I love the game. I love the co-op. I love the progression. It's just one of those go on a stupid adventure with your friends kind of a game. I do hope they're known for having their mega loot. I hope I want actually less loot, but better loot, or a way
Yeah.
to manage your inventory. Because I hate sitting there for an hour just going through all the 1,000 fucking guns I have.
All right.
So Borderlands 4, and then another one that I'm kind of keeping a watchful eye on is called The Hell Is Us. And this is a 3D or third person action adventure game that I think looks really cool. And it is kind of this like not alien-y kind of a game, but like weird monsters and stuff like that. And it just looks really good. I'm just gonna encourage
Never
you to
even
go
heard of this.
and look it up. Yeah, The Hell Is Us. So that one comes out, I think, this year,
Yeah, September.
September.
It looks.
There you go. So
wow.
and since I now have kids, I have to and obviously Yotai, but very selective about my games. So I haven't been buying as many games. Oh, another one, and except for this one kind of just came out recently. And I think this is something that the three of us should play together. It's a Game Pass game. So if you have Game Pass, you have it. But FBC Firebreak. So if you know like the Remedy series.
I want to play Firebreak.
So like Control and Alan Wake and all those stuff. Well, they came out with this like kind of side game called FBC Firebreak, where you play as a member of the Federal Bureau of Control, and so which basically handles like supernatural anomalies. It's like the government organization that handles supernatural, and you play as like basically like a cleaner. And so when these supernatural things happen, they send you in to go and like clean them up and kill all the things that like peek through. And it's like a co-op kind of, silly game where it's like, oh, you have a flamethrower and shit. And it's like, oh, the toasters and the refrigerators and stuff are all going crazy. So you have to go and like kill them all. It looks kind of silly. So I don't think it's a game that I see us playing like a lot, but I think it would be fun to do a few sessions of.
That's cool.
All right. You guys got anything else? If not, now let's hear from you. It's time to ask Pixelated Realms, where we answer your questions and read your comments. If you'd like to join the conversation, head over to pixelatedrealms.org/ask, and we will talk about your questions, concerns, topics, anything you want. So
caveat. You can also put questions in YouTube comments. We'll start taking those as well.
Yeah. Anywhere that we see, we'll probably do it, but we'll guaranteed if you go to this. Okay, so we're still behind a few, but but Ralph wrote in, so we're gonna read his. So I'm gonna read one of the old ones, and then I'm gonna read the new one. So this one's from March. So this is from our Uncle Patrick. What's up?
Hey.
Just Patrick. He hates that we call him Uncle because, anyways, he is actually our uncle. Well, yeah, exactly. It makes him feel old. So he says, hey guys, I was recently watching a video about how tons of people are complaining the current gen's graphics are not improving over last gen. I wouldn't say I totally agree with that sentiment, but I can get where some people feel that way. Devs are doing more with the hardware than they've ever done before. More physics engines or calculations going on in the background, but it's not just a visual bump that we want to see so they complain. What are your thoughts about last gen versus this gen? Also, I wonder how much is an art style direction versus pure graphics that people see. Even with the poor hardware, great art direction could compensate. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Does this also play into the PS5 Pro selling poorly, or is that just bad timing? Keep it up, Patrick. Okay, a lot of good questions on that.
So PS5,
I think
Pro is just simply it's too fucking expensive, like in my opinion, for the minimal upgrade.
Yeah, for what it is.
If you don't already have a PlayStation 5 and you're like making a decision to buy one, you're like, oh, maybe I'll just get the Pro and spend a little extra money. But you're not upgrading. There's no fucking way people like less than 10% of people, I bet, said I need to upgrade off the PlayStation 5 to the Pro.
Especially because it's so far through its life cycle. Like a PS6 is going to happen in the next couple of years.
And
3
plus,
or 4 years or whatever.
To you connect it to the rest of the question, so many developers aren't developing at the full potential of the hardware available, right? You always see this, Unity will show, or not Unity, Unity also, but Unreal will show, the first time they showed off 5, right? It was through that Canyon demo, and you're like, this is fucking insane. This
but
is
nobody uses it.
But yeah, no one develops that. One, it's and this is actually a question I'll post to you guys, but one, developers aren't going to make games that gatekeep games to only people with the absolute best systems, right? Now, if I'm working with a Battlefield, we're doing demos, they want the best fucking computers there. for people to try the game out on, but that's not mandatory, right? So no one wants to develop at the absolute peak because all these people who have like 3-4-year-old video cards are now fucked. Like they just can't play.
Yeah, which is most people.
Yeah, which is most people. Not all everybody's buying the latest series card as it comes out, you know, unless you're like an enthusiast. And even those, like, you know, everyone has $1,000 every 2 years to spend on a video card when your other one is working fucking perfectly fine and runs 95% of the game still. But what I was going to actually ask about consoles to you guys is, do we think the games that look the absolute best on a console are games that are exclusive to that console because you know exactly what that console is capable of handling, and so you can build it to like the utmost potential of that console, like at least with AAA, right? I think like some stuff you see at lower art direction could be one. You see that with Switch all the time. Like Switch is like bold, like bright colors that kind of compensates for like less like graphic. And
I don't know. I get what you're saying, but like to kind of loop back to the question, it's like I think you kind of answered, Patrick kind of answered the question in his question, because it's true. Like technically things are getting significantly higher resolution. Things are scaling. We have DLSS, we have ray tracing. Like these are like huge leaps forward. And whether or not that's being recognized by the common man's kind of like up to them. Like, yes, going from like 2D to 3D graphics is a huge jump, and that's what most of us remember as being graphics jumps. But like, yeah, I think it's just more of a perception thing. Like technically we still are pushing the limits every game. You know, these games are coming out like Dune, like Star Wars Outlaws, you know, that are just like super like well rendered, super like, you know, they might not run perfectly, but they fucking look amazing. So yeah, I just think like, no, things are scaling up. Like the technology is getting a lot better. And but with that being said, it is also an incredible amount of work to create these things, right? And that's why video game costs are going up. You know, like it's the same problem with animation and film, right? It's like it just takes more time and money to make more detail, right?
Yeah, and there's so much stuff you just don't notice too, like what you were just kind of talking about. Like you look at like Sea of Thieves, and like the water in Sea of Thieves is fucking gorgeous, right? But then you even move to now, and like I'm not gonna use water as an example, but you think about like depth of vision. How far can I see the map, you know, in front of me? That's like so much clearer, deeper than it's ever been. Like this, like if you're in sand and the wind blows, you can see the sand moving in front of you.
Particles,
You know? Like there's just so many little things like that we take for granted in graphics, because we're thinking like, oh, how insane does the person's face look, or you know, like. But yeah, I think that's where we've seen the huge leap, is in like realism of like, sand moving, or trees, leaves blowing back and forth, you know, like stuff like that we just kind of look past. But when you really analyze it, it's just like taking the
like
immersion
individual
experience.
hair particles, you know.
I totally agree. I think it's all of the above, right? And I think it's because it's happened so gradually. I think if you were to go and take a game from like 3 or 4 years ago and compare it to a game that's just come out, you would actually be like, oh, I'm actually surprised at how stark the difference is. Even though the game still looks beautiful, there's a lot more, like you were saying. And I think a lot of developers have pushed, like exactly what Dustin was saying, is like maybe the per model fidelity hasn't changed a lot, but there's just more of everything. Also, something that we haven't mentioned is it's more efficient, more frames. So it's like they now can do more frames with the same level of quality that we used to stop a computer, you know, that would stop it at like 20 frames. Now we can do it 60 frames. So it's like everything is getting better. It's just not, you can't just point to it and be like, that is better. I can tell, but it's like the particles are better. The rendering distance is better. The LODs are better. The like level of detail LOD. And so it's like everything is rendering faster. It's getting better. I was kind of trying to think of, okay, what is the most beautiful game that exists right now? And I think it's Senua's Saga 2, Hellblade 2. If you haven't played that game, it's really good. It's about this Viking girl who has psychosis. Basically, she's like going crazy. Probably it's built in Unreal 5. using the max like technology. It's a fucking great game. And this is to answer the question posed earlier that was, are dedicated games to consoles more beautiful? And it's like, well, Senua's Saga isn't out on the PlayStation yet, but it comes out in August. And if they, we can kind of look at that and say like, okay, compared to the PC, like how does it look? And I imagine it's going to be pretty comparable. So I actually don't think anymore that's true that the building for the native platform is going to be better. I think it tends to be true just because the companies that build them are kind of like their reputation's on the line. Like, hey, like PlayStation's reputation's on the line. We got to make sure this is, beautiful.
Yeah.
So, but I don't think it's actually like a technical limitation. I do think that they tend to make games for the lowest denominator, or a lower, maybe not the lowest, but a lower denominator. So the better that consoles get, the better all games will get.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's any like one thing. But
yeah,
I think it's
honestly,
a lot of factors.
And if anything, I think sometimes we spend too much time focusing on those details. Like, if anything, I'm like, wow, you just made the most gorgeous world I've ever seen. Like, every little square inch of this world is detailed. Someone had to spend a lot of time making it. But I don't really enjoy the game that much, So I'm like, maybe you could have spent like a little bit more time on the game, because like I honestly, it's gorgeous, but like I don't know why I want to be here.
I do
like,
think that's
ultimately,
true. That like with how good graphics have been the last 5-10 years. I mean, basically for PlayStation 4 and then Pro and then now 5. I think we have seen a bigger shift away from like, oh my God, like how fucking insane are these graphics, to like, how good is this gameplay experience? Like, how good is the story? Like, I think we've seen a less emphasis because the leaps are so much, not necessarily smaller, but like less noticeable unless you're really paying attention, that now people have shifted. Like graphics are no longer a huge barometer when someone's like scoring a game for a review. Right now, it's just like there's an expectation, there's a bar that's been set, and most games meet that bar unless you're purposely going art direction in a different way, and then that's kind of known. But there's much more of a focus, I think, right now on like story, like gameplay experience. Like, does it like function properly? Are you crashing? Is it glitchy? Things like that have now like taken over the graphic. How good are the graphics conversation?
Yeah. And while you dipped out for a second, we were talking about like how like we've been able to do more frames with the same that used to like stop a computer. Now we can play it at 60 frames. So it's like there's a lot of factors that go into this.
Yeah. And I feel like to end that thought, I'm trying to remember exactly what I was just thinking here. I was gonna say, like I think art style does make a huge difference on that, right? Like think about like it does not matter what you were given, right? Think about 1980s and they're like, here's the bits you have, right? I love the art direction of Mega Man X. I would not change a single pixel in Mega Man X.
I mean, that game still looks fantastic.
Yeah, so it's like that's the thing, is like I think the way you take what the tools you have and make art out of it, 100%. 100%.
Yeah, what's the fighting game you were playing recently? You showed us. Like you're fighting and like through like a warehouse. Sifu? Maybe Sifu. Yeah, I think so.
Is that the one where you're the car you die and get older?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Right. That or Dispatch, or you know what I mean? Like Dispatch we were just talking about that game. That's it looks amazing.
Well, actually, so this is a good segue into the next question. So let me go ahead and I'm going to skip to our current question. So Ralph writes in and says, hey, we lost Dustin again.
Oh, no.
He says, while you guys were away, an indie game that took off was called Schedule 1.
Yeah, Schedule 1.
It's a drug dealing game made by a single person. Have you heard about this game? What do you think the game was so successful? And the reason that I say this is a segue, thanks, Ralph, for writing in. The reason I say this is a segue is because the art style is like weird and atrocious. Like it looks like it was made like in Roblox or like some, like by somebody. It's purposeful, I think, but Dustin's back. Dustin, the question was, have you heard of the game called Schedule 1? You play as a drug dealer, and it was an indie hit that like really took off. But, the reason I say as a segue is because the art is like really crappy. So
Well, that's a case where like the game
But
just
it's
has a fun
like
loop, right? So I've played some of those like drug dealer games like in the past, the simulators, and like the fun thing about them is, right, like you'll go in, you'll like usually it's like you're growing weed or something, right? You go in, you
Yeah.
grow your weed, you put it in a shop, people come in, they buy it, or you go like those games have really fun loops, right? And that's what this game is about. Schedule 1 has a really fun loop. It allows you to grow from being this like tiny little drug dealer who's on the street to being like this big time drug cartel, right? And so like it doesn't need really fancy art because the loop is so fun, right? So like that's kind of what we're talking about. Like you said, Alex, it's like the balance between my gameplay loop and the visuals. Now, like, you know, like I might argue like Dune has a really good visuals and a good gameplay loop, you know, like, so like, you know, you want both, but like you really only need the good gameplay loop. I don't really think you have to have amazing visuals because the game doesn't need it, right? What are you going to do? Like
I think it
realistic
depends. I
crack
think it
smoking?
depends because yeah, right. Like that game makes sense. There are some games though that I played. I'm like, man, I just wish this was better looking because you spend a lot of time staring at like certain things.
Yeah.
And if, you know, it's like, even if the mechanics are pretty good, it's like to a certain degree, it's like, it depends on the type of game, I think, even.
Any
like,
Dragon Age game, I always watch those and I'm like, oh, everyone looks terrible. And we're looking at them for the whole game.
If it's like a story-driven or a narrative-driven game, then it should look pretty good or have a unique art style because you want to get engulfed in the world, right? And if it just looks like stupid, but then again, games like Undertale, right? If you've seen that one, is like 80% of the screen is literally just black. Like it's like
but
there's like
they make it work.
Yeah. So I think it just, you have to have like a unified art direction that emphasizes the gameplay. I think I don't know. It's tough.
That's tough. That's a whole job. Yeah.
But okay, Dustin's computer is having technical issues, so I think we're gonna
Not
probably
my
end it
computer.
there. Unless
Riverside is fucked right now. If you exit this shit and like try to rejoin the studio, it has a big error message now on top that's like, we are experiencing technical difficulties. It's not my computer.
Okay, well, I'm glad we were able to at least get the episode out then. So, you guys got anything before we go? If not, thank you all for listening. Don't forget to follow or subscribe to be notified when we post new episodes. Post new episodes every Tuesday, unless Alex forgets, on podcast services and on YouTube. I'll see you guys next time.
Bye-bye.